backwards audio. So good. Nate, you recognize it. You have to. It's Thunder, Love Walked In, but we play it backwards because the band hasn't given us permission.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh,
So
I know the song.
Yeah. You know, it's a top 10 favorite with me. So it is the Yeah Come On show. I'm Southside Steve. That's my co-host Brett Barney, and special guest tonight, producer of Bailey and Southside, Nate Hansen. What's up, Digi Dude Nate?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
I've been trying to get you on the show. Nate's like, I'm in Mexico with my wife. We're going back on our 4th honeymoon. I'm like, okay. And then I call Nate, really want to get you on the show. Going to Egypt on a bachelor party. So Nate is everywhere. And the one reason I wanted to have you on, and I think, Brett, you'd like to talk to him too. We obviously all know each other, worked in the same building, but Nate is special. Nate is a world traveler. Nate will go anywhere for anything. He's a road tripper, and he doesn't mind being stuck in a car. And to me, I think that is so crazy because through the pandemic, you were still a road tripper. And when you told us you were going, of all places, Egypt for a bachelor party, I'm like, is he Egyptian? And you're like, no, he's just like us. He's a good old boy. I'm like, why Egypt? So why Egypt?
I don't know. I think it was just one of those dream trips that, we've all, at least us 4 guys have thought about. And getting ready to get married, he was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to come back here. Because I think he invited a couple other guys and their wives are like, no, you're not going to Egypt right now. So I think he was kind of afraid of that and just was like, hey, let's just bang it out with an awesome, guys trip, like one last hurrah kind of thing. So, yeah. And then the groom he is Brazilian. One of my other buddies that was going on it is from Venezuela. And then there's another dude who is from Trinidad. So they're all, from other countries.
Oh, you're the only one from America, and you're kind of from another country because you're what, from Illinois? No,
Yeah,
Idaho. Because he's the hoe. I always forget that. Idaho. Nate was, I assume you were a hoe before you got married.
Faux show.
I always joke, Brett. I'm like, why couldn't you have been our producer like 15 years ago? I said, dude, I would have killed the streets with you. We would have been quite the team.
Yeah.
Instead, Nate found love early, thank God, with a very sweet, beautiful woman, married her, made her whole, and is refusing to have children. I don't know about you, Brett. Do you want to have kids?
100%, man.
Nate, 100%.
That's the game plan, dude.
Does not. Matter of fact, Nate's going to go see my doctor. Have you called him yet?
Yeah, I have a consultation on the 20th.
Damn, you're in motion.
Yeah. I
got to tell you, I'm looking at my boys right now. He does a fine job. You'll be fixed. Yes.
Oh, good.
It's just a trip. So, you and your wife talked. Kids kind of slow you down, right?
Yeah. They just one more thing to kind of worry about. I'm having a hard enough time taking care of myself in my life. So, I don't need to be responsible for other humans.
Nate, it's hell. I just kissed my kid like 10 times. The love part of it is rock star, but the worrying will go to the day I die. To the day I die, I will worry about these kids. And it's just, you're right. It's the biggest responsibility. I was going your route. I didn't want to, have kids. I didn't think I was going to get married. Then I met Amanda, and I'm like, damn it. I think I'm in love. Ah, crap. Might as well get married if you're in love. Crap. Got to have kids. And here I am. I'm happy though.
Yeah, it happens. But I've heard, that's what everyone says is as soon as you have kids, it's like a love that you'll never experience. You never experienced before. So
it's your dogs. I know you got dogs.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's a little bit different, but yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. It's your dogs times 5. I know the love I had for my dog, and when we put him down, I'm like tears for fears. I didn't want to drive the car. I'm holding him in my lap. It was a pug like yours.
Mm-hmm.
Nate has a pug, Brett, called Tiger, and Tiger, he got, if I'm correct, the story, that was your wife's dog. You adopted Tiger.
Yeah, he was my wife's dog, and then I had a dog that I was a foster parent at this rescue shelter in Orlando. And so I was fostering my dog, and then I was like, all right, go ahead and adopt him. So both each had a dog, brought them together, and now they're like best friends.
They're buds. They go everywhere. They go on all these damn road trips you go on.
They do.
Do you know that Nate went on a road trip to Tennessee just to taste a beer for a grand opening of a beer?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, actually, my wife was out of town. Oh, yeah, I've done Tennessee. The maybe the one you're thinking of is I went to North Carolina.
Excuse me.
They were doing a mustard beer with Oscar Blues. French's and Oscar Blues did a mustard beer together. So I was like, let's go. I had nothing else to do.
He drove to taste a beer. I'm like, are you crazy? And his ass, anybody that's got any sense in radio or anybody that vacations, you come back on the Saturday. You give yourself a day just to get your crap back together. Not Nate. He'll come in hot, 11:30, midnight, 1 a.m. on the Sunday, or he'll just go straight into work. He comes in way hot. I'm like, dude, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm fine. I'm fine. I never see the crack in the armor. I know he cracks.
That is 100% the difference between, I think, old school radio and kind of new school radio, because I'm with Nate. I've been on a golf course in Tampa at 6 o'clock at night getting a text saying my flight at 10:30 just got canceled and I have to be in the studio at 5 a.m.
Start driving.
I've been there. Better figure it out, man. How am I getting back to the show?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and now you can do it remotely. So, you don't have to worry about that.
That's the thing. That's the other thing that he does, and I wanted to have you on because you're such a character. I'm gonna barely touch on what you're about to do, you son of a bitch. But what Nate one time, I didn't know it. I'm hosting the show because Bailey's out, and Nate's doing the show with me. Been doing the show for 2 days, and at one point in time, because I can see him and he can see me, we're on our laptops. I look up and I'm like, oh, what's that picture in the background? Is that new? Because I've been to Nate's house. I kind of know what Nate has. And I'm like, what is that? And he goes, oh, it's a picture. It's Pittsburgh. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool, man, because your wife's from Pittsburgh. He goes, yeah. I'm like, I don't remember that. And then what did you say, Nate?
I was actually in Tampa.
He left. Didn't tell me. Didn't tell anybody. And the son of a bitch did the show in Tampa. He's like, hey, man. Cat's away, I'm going to play. And he knew I would be laid back about it if I found out, but I didn't. And he did the show for 2 days in Tampa. So he'd get off the air and the dude was partying on the beach.
I was going to the beach. Yeah,
Had no idea. No idea.
My brother-in-law's.
I thought he was in Atlanta the whole time. And then the best one where it gets better. This is why I'm going to miss Nate. But Nate literally one morning, we're like, why is there an echo? And again, he's on his laptop and he's at the airport.
Oh yeah. I think I was going to Denver. Yeah. I got there. I had my wife drop me off at like 4 a.m. and on the international side, because there's like nobody there. And so I'm like going around the airport trying to find a good, like decently quiet spot. And I almost went into the chapel because there was nobody in there, but I found a good little, just a little couch to sit on and did the show from the international airport.
God forbid there had been a plane crash, and next thing you know, the chapel has 300 people in it, and he's like, whoa, I'm doing a show. I'm doing a show.
Come on.
So I'm trying to think if there's any other stunts. Those are the best. I only traveled with Nate one time. We road trip to Auburn where my wife graduated, and we had the fold-out chairs, and Nate's all in, man. His chairs, he like flips them out. They have like roofs and like little backpack areas for more beer. And there's like a sunscreen station. I'm like, where do you get chairs like this? And he and his wife plopped down and we're like hanging out. And then we went and saw a country concert. And then he's got his dogs in the hotel room because they travel with him. And then we go hit a Waffle House where, wouldn't you know it, for some reason we get the worst service. And Nate, you will agree, worst service ever.
It was.
But I start raising hell and the Waffle House called the cops on me.
She locked us in the Waffle House.
Did. You aren't leaving. And I was like, fine, call the police. She kept telling me she was going to do it. I said, please call the police. Because I refused to pay.
Yeah.
Should I have? No.
No,
Service.
not at all. The thing was it took forever to get our food. And then when they served us our food, they didn't have any silverware. So they hadn't cleaned any silverware. So we were just sitting there and you got pissed because you're like, how am I supposed to eat my fucking food? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, it was just, and it took forever. And then she starts, running her mouth. She wasn't the most professional manager. And I think there was along the line, look, I don't give a damn. She said something set me off. And I calmly said, I'm not paying. I wasn't like yelling.
No,
but then she says,
you should have been like, call the cops. I'll call Waffle House corporate. Let's go. I'd have pulled Google up and like, all right, let's do this. Let's play this game.
I don't think I don't think they cared if they got fired.
I didn't realize Waffle Houses could lock their doors. I thought their whole thing was no locks on the doors.
That is their selling point. There's no locks, but I think Nate's right. I think the chick brought out a padlock and was like, nobody leaves this bitch. Cops are coming.
Oh, kind of like one of those like extended. It was like the red bar with the two arms that you put in the steering wheel so nobody could steal your car.
It's like nobody leaves.
Oh, the good old club. But yeah, that was a good time. And we also, I think when we decided to go from the hotel to the concert, we didn't realize where were we in, like Opelika or Opelika?
Opelika. Yeah, which is funny because my mom and my brother don't live far from there.
Yeah, and we thought they'd have Uber. They did not. So I don't know if we rode in the same cab, but my wife and I rode in the back of some minivan.
No, you rode with us.
Okay.
You just offered. They got in the back of a minivan. I was like, thank you. I think we met some people, right, that said you could ride with us.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know how the F we're going to get home, but we'll get to the concert. It was Miranda Lambert.
Yeah. And
who else?
Something Hunt.
Yeah. I forget who it was. Sam.
Why would you pay for that? I mean, you could have seen that at a Cumulus Christmas party, right, boys?
Yeah. Back in the day when Cumulus had their big ass parties. I remember those parties. They're not so much. The last Christmas party I went to was in January.
Yeah, that's what I say. I don't know about that. I mean, I've just been to one in January and February. We get 2 drink tickets, and it's on a Tuesday.
Thank you.
It's at a bowling alley or something.
No, back in the day, Nate, we had all kinds of artists. I remember we had Kelly Clarkson. We had
and she was pregnant, sitting in the corner on a bar stool. It was the worst Christmas party.
Weird.
Thank God for free drinks.
Yeah, and you could see her. My wife's like, I want to see her. I said, all you can do is barely see her. She's not a tall chick. She's on a short stool, and all these people are in front of us. The only way to get backstage to meet her is be on the Burt Show.
Or corporate.
Or corporate.
Dude,
I'm like,
wouldn't even let us use their bathroom.
The corporate wouldn't. You were going next. Yeah, you were going out into the club to use the potty.
There was a single bathroom and there was a normal bathroom, like multiple stalls, all that. Corporate blocked off the normal bathroom, multiple stalls, and left everybody to use the one single bathroom.
Yeah, I peed in a cup. I said, screw this.
It was like, get a beer, go get in line for the bathroom.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It was, but it was fun. God, I took some hot dates to those things. I did some bad things, but they were fun. That went on for a while. Now we don't do that, which kind of brings me to where we are now with you, Nate. I'm going to be a gentleman and play my role as a show co-host on Bailey and Southside and not dig too deep. But what are you preparing to do?
My wife and I are moving to Mexico in like 2 months.
Isn't that great? You've got 1,000 people a day swimming the Rio Grande, crossing over, risking life, limb, everything they have and own, trying to get to America. There's only one person going the other way, and it's Nate. He's the only one. Even Mexico's going, are you serious? You coming here? Really?
I mean, that's where you go on vacation, though. So
it is. What I want to know, and again, I'm getting away with just a couple questions. You're moving to the area where you go when you travel there, right?
Right.
This is where you and your wife honeymoon, and you've been there several times.
Yeah, I've been going since probably the late 90s. It's simple. My family's been going there for years. I went there for spring break like 7 years in a row.
It's Playa del Carmen, right?
Right. Yeah. And then we just started going on our honeymoon and then all of our anniversaries. And then we went for our anniversary in September, and then also my wife's birthday in February or end of February, beginning of March. So yeah.
Where'd the idea come from?
It's one of those things, you always talk about, like, oh, we should just move here. You know?
You talk about that when you're drunk and high.
Yeah. But then we're just like, we should do it. We don't have kids. We don't own a house. the only really things we have are our dogs, and yeah, so we're like, let's just do it.
If your dogs die in Mexico, God forbid, I'm not trying to say, will you bury them in Mexico?
I've thought about that because they're about 12, 13, so they're getting up there. But things are really like, it's cheap to take your dog to the vet there. I saw somebody and they took their dog and they got like surgery and they had anesthesia and everything, and it was like $300.
Oh my God. You can't even get your toenails clipped on your dog for that.
No, yeah, not at all.
not here. I know what I paid for eye surgery for my pug. I was
yeah.
Good God. I'm like, okay, $3,000 later and he still can't see. But and again, I don't want to ask too much, but I agree. And Brett, I think you'd agree with this too. It's like life's short. You got an opportunity. The moment's right. My father-in-law says you can make double what you make with us and he'll hire you tomorrow at GP. He's already told me that. So you got a job waiting on you if you need it. But you have a love for what you do. And I will tell you, you're a fantastic producer. You're like one of the most, I tell everybody, you're one of the most likable guys. I said, you can go anywhere with Nate on a road trip. I said, I wouldn't go with Jason to the convenience store. And I said, Brandy's out there too. I said, Brandy does videos and shoots birds. That's what Brandy does. So, Nate's the most normal guy in radio. You're just a stoner, which is funny, beer drinker, which is funny. So I know everybody's going to want to see you. I've got your book next door, my neighbors. That's where I came from. It's the only reason I have an effing Red Sox cup because they're all Boston people. I'm like, I'm not drinking out of a fucking Patriots cup. I'll take your Red Sox. Yeah. Everybody cheered for these guys to win. We wanted to, end the curse, but screw the Patriots.
Yeah, right.
But they want you to come over and hang out. I think a lot of people want to see you. And you remind me, you and Brett would make a great running team. Y'all both love the beer, love to drink. Brett drinks to the point that he loses his shit. Like if you saw 2 podcasts ago, Brett's like this. And of all people, I have Steve Stone and Kara Stockton on the show too, and they're between Brett, and Brett's like a doll. It's like one of them had their hands rammed up his shirt just to get him to make talk. What?
Jeff Dunham style, dog.
It was funny. It was funny, but you had drank a lot. I'll agree. I'll give you that. But Nate, you seem to keep your shit together.
It was a grieving process. Grieving.
You were grieving.
It was Catholic style grieving, dog.
I get it. I'm Catholic. I know. Nate does. Why do you think you wake up naked, Nate, when you party?
I don't know. I just get hot, and I think it used to be when I was single and I would come home from my apartment, I'd wake up the next day and there would be like at the bottom of the stairs were like my shoes and then socks, then pants up, halfway up the stairs. You just see a trail of nudity going along. And then sometimes I'll wake up like I had like chicken nuggets in my pocket one time and I woke up in the bathtub. But yeah, I don't know. So those were back in the days when I drank hard liquor and I would forget things a lot more.
I will tell you, there was a New Year's Eve, Brett, where we go back to Nate's little hotel room and he's got his family there and they got one of those like normal, it's not a normal room. It's a room like with one of those little kitchenettes. Like if you were in town for a week on business, you could like survive. And I come in and Nate's got all these hors d'oeuvres and stuff. And he's got the microwave working hardcore and he's heating up meatballs in the microwave and just stabbing them. He'd even bought toothpicks. I'm like, yeah, you got to love this guy. Because I'm not above that. My wife would have had an effing heart attack, but I'm not above it. I think it's great.
It was a Holiday Inn Express, and it was before it was before some New Year's party we were doing. I think it was at Tannery Row.
It was.
And we got these, we wanted to do some appetizers, have you guys over, and we got these meatballs, and we realized, oh shit, we're gonna have to cook these in the microwave. But it was one of those triple platters, so we had like Swedish and Italian and like a little bit of everything. So
it was quite the spread.
Fancy.
It was fancy. What is it that you bought on your way? You bought something, and on the way you had to like buy a mixer or buy an oven for it or something on your way to Florida. What was that story?
Oh yeah, I bought a turkey fryer on the side of the road off the exit from some lady off of Facebook Marketplace. So we're going down to Florida for Thanksgiving, and I wanted one of those turkey fryers. I wanted to fry one for the first time. So I couldn't find one in town for like a good price. And so while we're driving down to Florida, I'm taking the little circle, like the radius thing on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm just dragging it down the interstate till I get a hit on a good one. So a couple miles down the road, I get one, and I messaged the lady. I was like, "Hey, can you meet me at this exit?" And she meets me at the exit. I give her the money, pop it in my car, and continue on.
Woo! All right, I've tried to bring up most every crazy ass story I could think of. I just wanted to thank you for even coming on with us, Nate. It meant a lot. I had to get you on the podcast. I definitely want to talk to you when you get to Mexico for sure. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Got to stay in touch. Brett, do you have any questions for Digi Dude Nate of the Bailey and Southside morning show on Rock 100.5?
So I can start with my brown nosing of actually when I got let go from Cumulus, I did go out to dinner with some management people, and they were all like, "Man, you know, you're such a great producer. I really wish we could have kept you around and found something for you to do." Da, da, da. It's like, whatever. I told them that straight up, dude, this is the honest truth. I said, there are a lot of people that work in that building, and there are a lot of people that are really talented. But when it comes to producing, if you guys ever lose Nate, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like straight up, I was like, if that guy ever asks for more money, pay him
Give
it
it to
because
him.
he's worth every fucking penny. I'm trying to watch my language now. Yeah, dude, I totally was selling you hardcore to anybody I could. I think you were by far, like, I think I'm good at what I do. I know you're better at what I do. So I'll give you that. So
thanks, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot.
No, man.
Yeah, you're the calm that is Jason Bailey. I mean, it's like all the decisions he makes, I'm always like, what the hell? You know, the little dark cloud thing. But I'm like, Nate's like a beautiful sunny day. There's nothing cloudy about you.
Yeah. I'm just trying to have a good time at all times.
Yeah.
I just kind of live my life by that, and things usually work out.
That's funny. Anything else for Nate?
Oh, well, let's keep rocking some of these out. I want to say I remember the two of you guys went to an Atlanta United game that was kind of a big one.
We did. Nate and I went to the I'd never been. I think, Nate, you had, right?
Yeah, I'd been to some games. Yeah, for sure.
So I'd never been to one, but my neighbor who is in the business says, look, I've got some kick-ass tickets for the game. And I'm like, Nate, and this is the thing about Nate. If you call Nate, the answer is yes, he's going. Doesn't matter if his wife can go or not. Nate will vacation without his wife because they have that kind of a cool relationship. He'll do it. He'll do it. He'll do it. So I called up and I'm like, you want to go? Next thing I know, yeah, we're at that game.
Yeah, that was a good time.
And we ended up in the suite later. And I'm like, well, these were cool tickets, but we were in the crowd. It was fun, man.
Oh yeah, great seats. You
guys are 100% missing the boat. This was when Atlanta won their first championship in how many years? Because it was a championship game, was it not?
Oh,
yeah, since '95 World Series with the Braves.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you meant the team because it was like, wasn't it the first year or the first or second year that we had United?
Second year.
Yeah.
Second year.
Yeah. I mean, what a game to be at. It was awesome.
I know. Still, it's the only game I've been to. I just do championships.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm a championship kind of guy.
Championship kind of man.
Well, don't go to any more Falcons ones, please.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about the vasectomy. Now, I'm somebody I've always thought in my life, I want to have kids. Steve, I'm sure you thought this. You'll probably coach your kid's soccer team at some point. You're a big soccer guy. I grew up in a baseball family. I would love to coach baseball if I have daughters, softball, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. So, Nate, you and I are pretty similar in age. You just called it off early, like you just didn't want that. I'm somebody that I want to have kids, and then I'm going to do the vasectomy, like Steve.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love kids. Like I've always been great with kids. I used to babysit kids like when I was, younger and we had, family friends that needed them to watch them. So I'm really good with kids. I don't know. I didn't have that, I've never had that urge. I know there's some people that are like, I want to procreate, or, there's some people that just want to stay home with their kids, which is totally cool. I will watch your kids, but I like to do my own thing. I like to be able to pick up and be like, hey, let's go up to Asheville this weekend. Let's do that. And so that's kind of something that me and my wife had to talk about. She was she wasn't like against having kids or didn't want to have them, but she wasn't like overly like, hey, yeah, let's do this. So I just kind of expressed how I felt, and I didn't pressure her or anything. And then, you know, more and more of our friends started having kids, and, you know, to a group, they'll be like, oh, they're great. They're wonderful. But on the side, they're like, don't have kids. You know, like they're a lot of work, you know, they'll tell you that.
A ton of work.
Yeah.
Ton.
So yeah, we just kind of, you know, my wife loves to travel with me also. And so she's just like, yeah, like I kind of love our life right now. I don't want to sound selfish, but, you know, we're having a great time, you know, and, you know, that's part of a marriage is just, you know, bonding with each other, and, you know, we got a good thing going. So, you know, I don't really want to shake that up. So yeah.
Y'all have anal sex?
No.
Brett does.
What's his name? That's good.
Fred.
Goes by Southside. All right. Well, that took a little side turn there real quick.
Yeah, that's the benefit of podcast. Every once in a while you throw in something a little naughty. All right, Nate, who are you looking at?
Nothing. I was just pulling. I wrote down some notes because you guys had mentioned Egypt.
Yes, let's hear it.
So I was just trying to bring up some of the stories that I wrote down. I'm trying to think of some of them. Yeah, so we talked about on the show, we got getting pulled over in the van with the passports.
Yes.
So we're coming back from this tour, and we're in a tour van. It's just me and the 4 guys and then our guide and the driver. And we stop at this, just like a stoplight, and the van the door flies open, and this guy goes, hey, let me see your passports. And we just think maybe it's like police checkpoint. You know, there's a lot of checkpoints and stuff around. So he's like, let me see your passports. And 2 of us had them. The other 2, or 2 guys in the back had them. I didn't have mine, and the guy next to me didn't have his. So we left him back at the hotel. But I had him on my phone, and we had everybody's passport together just in case anything happened to anybody.
That's smart.
Yeah. So I pull up the folder that have all our passports in, and he's like, well, who are those people? And I was like, well, this is him right here. And my buddy had lost some weight. So he's like, that's not him. And he's like, what country are you guys from? He's like, Florida. He's like, where's Florida at? What country is that? And he starts getting like agitated. And he's like, I don't know about this. You know, I'm going to have to take these passports. And the guys in the back start freaking because it's their passports. So they start freaking. No. Yeah, they're like, no, you can't do this. And then he's asking the guide, like, who is this guy? What's he doing? You know, because he was just dressed in plain clothes. And then all of a sudden, the guy that has the passports, he like throws his head back and starts laughing. And he goes, I own this tour. Welcome to Egypt. And he was just messing with us. And everybody was so pissed, but like, he like trying to do that, like, you know, half-ass laugh. But oh man,
that's funny.
They got him good. It was bad.
One question I had too on the humps. Did you really stand on top of the camel? You were able to balance?
Yeah, I did. And it was hard because, you know, riding the camel, I've ridden a ton of horses, but, you know, you're kind of like using your legs to hold your body onto the horse. So doing that for a couple hours, when the guide that we had, he's like, you go ahead and stand up on the camel. So I go to stand on the camel, and my legs are like shaking because I'm just like fatigued. And I'm like, take the picture quick because I'm gonna fall off this thing. So yeah, I got up there, but yeah, my legs were shaking on it because I was just like fatigued from, you know, riding this camel for 5 hours that day.
That's awesome.
I was up on it.
And where was your hotel? You were right there in front of the Great Pyramids, which is incredible.
Yeah, it was that the Marriott? Yeah, it's the Marriott Mina house. But yeah, it's right below the pyramids. Like we walked to the pyramids. It's crazy how close Cairo is to the pyramids. But yeah, it was really cool. And it's funny on the show, you know, you guys were making fun of me going for a bachelor party. We probably saw 60 weddings while we were there. Every hotel, every night, there was a wedding. Some of them were from, you know, like other countries, Turkey or, you know, wherever. But it's hilarious that they play all the same music that we play at our weddings.
No.
Like they play it was like the chicken dance and then Christina Aguilera, and it was just this random group of you know, pop music.
What about Electric Slide? I bet they did it.
Oh, yep, definitely. But it was funny too. All the guys, like the Egyptian men, like cab drivers or whatever, they have their phones out. All of their ringtones are like female pop star ringtones. There's like their phone will go off and it'll be like Billie Eilish. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? It's so weird.
Good Lord, man. They're all into, you know, the West. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What did you find there to be just odd that you're like, this is just weird? Anything?
I mean, the food was different. The food was great. It was cool to experience new food, but probably the weirdest thing ate was I ate camel. So that was
Isn't that a little sacred there? I wouldn't think you'd eat that.
Yeah, you'd think so, but they ship them in. Like when we went down to like the south part of Egypt, they were bringing in trucks of camels from Sudan, and they were like, yeah,
For slaughter?
yeah, well, for transportation and to eat them. So yeah,
Man, that's messed up. I guess once a camel just can't camel anymore, you're like, we're gonna eat it. But then I imagine it's a little tough meat. That's just weird. I didn't think there were that many camels. That's like eating horse.
Oh yeah, there was just trucks of camels coming in, and I guess during COVID they had to quarantine them, so they have this farm of like just thousands of camels that they have to hang out there for 2 weeks till they can come into the city. So that was weird. And then I also had pigeon, and tastes like chicken, but, basically like every kind of white meat. But yeah, it was interesting to eat a pigeon.
That's the dirty bird. That's the rat with wings.
Yep.
That's what they say.
What part of the camel did you eat?
The hump?
That's my guess from Rush Hour.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe the thigh or something. Or, yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't ask questions.
God, that's crazy. And the beer was good?
Yeah, well, they're not a big drinking culture. So, most of the alcohol they have there, I feel like is for tourists and visitors and stuff. But, I mean, liquor was no problem, but they only had a couple styles of beer, or a couple kinds of beer. They were all lagers, but there was one we went to this restaurant and we're like, hey, we want an Egyptian beer. And the guy's like, oh, Stella. And we're like, no, like that's not Egyptian, that's Belgian. And we're like, Egyptian beer. And he's like, Stella. And we're like, no. And then this guy at the table next to us goes, hey, I think I can help you out with the situation. There's your Stella that you're thinking of, but then there's also an Egyptian Stella. So there's two different ones, but it was like 4.5%. But then they jump it up to, there was a beer that I chugged there that was a 15% lager. It was just like malt liquor. It wasn't great, but it was good to, get a little buzz going.
Yeah, about to say 15%, that'll get you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, real quick, I just want to mention and thank our sponsors real quick for the Yeah Come On show. Special thanks to OxygenFinancial.com for all your money needs. Go to Ted Jenkins. And if you're looking for insurance, which Nate's not because he's selling his cars and he's going someplace where there may be a car for him. But do a quote with Circle 285. If you think you're paying too much, you probably are. If you've been with the same company for 10 or 15 years, why not get a better rate? Get better insurance. Go with the Type A company, Circle285.com. And lastly, Dr. David Markwell, no stranger to you either, Nate, with Ridgeline Counseling, a big sponsor here with the Yeah Come On show. And we thank him for counseling. Had I known you were doing this months ago, I would have sent you to David Markwell for counseling just to make sure you were in the right mind.
Right.
But too late now. Everything's done. Is everything in motion? There's no turning back. Have you put money down on a place in Mexico?
Yeah, we already rented our place we just rented Airbnb for the first month just so we can kind of scout out other places. I have some places in mind, but I just want to check them out on the ground. And got our plane tickets, got our dog's plane tickets, and ready to go.
Where would you rather live, Egypt or Mexico?
Oh, Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, just to get back to, I just love the world travels. Is there anything about the Egypt trip you could not tell us?
No, not really.
Not one of your friends? Nobody did anything bad or stupid? Nobody had sex with a camel? Nothing crazy?
Nah, nothing too crazy. I mean, it was funny because
hey, they're eating them. Why not breed them?
Well, they're telling you to take these, pills. You go to any foreign country, there's these pills you can take so you don't have a stomach ache. And so I'm taking the pills religiously. I'm like, I do not want to get, my buddies on the trip call it mud butt. So he's like, I don't want to get mud butt. And I'm taking the pills religiously. And they're like, they're all from other countries. So they're like, yeah, we'll be fine. Dude, 2 of these dudes had diarrhea the entire trip.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
It was bad. And then when our last night in Cairo, before we took an overnight train to Luxor, and it's a 10-hour overnight train. You start at like 7 o'clock at night, and then it's like bunk beds. You sleep on it, and you wake up the next day and you're there. So before we left our hotel, there's this really good Indian restaurant at the hotel, and so we ate there, and then we go and jump on the train immediately. That was a bad idea to sleep on the bottom bunk from the guy upstairs who just ate Indian food and has diarrhea, because it sounded like a jet ski, like idling. It was just like all night. It was rotten eggs. He was just going to town in his sleep. It was terrible.
Oh no. So you all crammed into one little cabin, I guess?
Yeah, well, we had two guys in each one, but
okay.
I wanted the bottom bunk because I was like, oh, and then I can get up easier. But yeah, not a good idea when he has the farts above me.
I don't know where the air. I think there's no place to hide when somebody's got mud butt.
Yeah,
that is such a cool trip, man. What did it end up costing you?
I don't know. I haven't like totally added it up, but like my plane ticket I got with points. The excursions. Or like the tours were between $50 to an all-day one that might have been $200, and then the food was super cheap. We had a restaurant. It was an African barbecue restaurant. 4 of us. We got drinks, we got food, we got appetizers, everything, and our bill was $25 for 4 people.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So the food was really cheap. Oh, and my Uber from the hotel or from the airport to the hotel was 53-minute ride, and it was $12. So yeah, just everything's way cheaper. But I mean, I guess I would say maybe around 1,500 to 2. Just with a lot of it's tipping. Everybody's really nice, very helpful. But then afterwards, they're like, "Hey, you want to help me out?" And it was like, "All right."
So, what the hell?
But yeah, it wasn't terribly expensive if you can get like your hotel, and the hotel, like that really nice hotel. It was like $125 a night, and then we're splitting it between 2 dudes.
That's great.
Yeah.
But I guess my last question on Egypt for me would be just seeing the movies, whether it's something, The Mummy, or whether you're watching, something on the Discovery Channel, about King Tut or whatever, seeing the Great Pyramids and all that. What site blew you away the most? And did you get it? Could you touch it? Did you touch it? Just going, my God, this is stupid old. This is crazy.
I would probably say, so we kind of went through the whole country. So there's a site on the very southern border of Egypt and Sudan, and it's called Abu Simbel. And it's you probably saw some of my pictures, but it's the Ramses II, I believe, statues carved out into the mountainside.
Yes.
So like the 4 big, statues, and then you go into the mountain, and then there's like all these other huge statues and stories of hieroglyphs on the wall and everything. But that just blew my mind that they could, do that and just dig it into the, the side of a mountain. And it's just
I think
cool,
I saw that in Transformers.
Yeah. Yeah.
All my stuff comes from movies.
But it was really cool just to you could touch some of the hieroglyphs. So I was like, just kind of lightly put my hand on it. And it's just crazy to think like some dude is chiseling away here, 4,000 years ago.
Damn.
Had no idea I'd be there.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
All right, finishing up with Digi Dude Nate again, the producer for Bailey and Southside, a friend and a fantastic producer. As both Brett and I have given you a tip of the producer cap. You do your job extremely well. Very talented guy.
Thank you.
What do you got, Brett?
Well, I'll hit a few quick ones. How much does it cost to move dogs to Mexico?
So there's only a couple airlines that will fly dogs in cabin, because we want to do in cabin. And actually, I think during the summer months, airlines do not fly dogs underneath right now. But the cheapest was United. Delta was $200. It's $200 a dog each way. And United is $125. So since we just bought one-way tickets, it was $250. But we got our seats on points, so I paid like $12 per ticket. Just had to pay for the taxes, and so awesome. So the dogs are $250, and they got to sit underneath the seat. So I don't really get that, but yeah. So it's about $125 each way per pet.
Damn.
So that is dirt cheap, because I mean, I'll sell this one out. I don't care. My mom's neighborhood happens to be the same one Jason Bailey lives in. There was a couple that moved in, and they had just moved from South Africa, and they brought 2 small dogs. And you both know where Bailey lives, and obviously so do I.
Mm-hmm.
There's some wildlife in the area, and they brought in 2 small dogs, $15,000 per dog to move them from South Africa to Atlanta. I'll just say, everybody knows where I'm from. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Within a week, the person let both the dogs out. Both got eaten by coyotes.
Dang.
I knew you were going there.
First
Oh my
week.
God.
After dropping 30 grand.
That's insane. Wow. Yeah, that's nothing compared to mine.
Yeah.
I would go on a coyote murder spree. I would kill every coyote for the rest of my life for 30 grand blown. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, you guys know that area. So yeah. When I heard that and you were saying about the dogs, I was like, ooh. That's the only story that came to my mind. It happened years ago. One thing that I always thought was interesting is when I was working morning shows at 106.7, you could get there as early as you wanted. You could think that you're the first person in the office. Little did anybody know Nate might be in the parking deck running sprints. Do you still do that? At like 3 in the morning?
Yeah. I don't, because I haven't been going to the studio in like a year. But yeah, I still do go to the gym in the morning. I usually get to the gym about 3 a.m. And then and it was nice, at the studio or in our building, we had the gym downstairs, so I could shower and then go straight upstairs. But one time I went and I can't remember what the situation was. Maybe I didn't have my key fob or something, and I had to wait for Brandy to get there. And so I was like, man, it's 3 a.m. and I'm all ready to like work out. So I just went in the parking deck and I was running sprints and doing push-ups and stuff.
Like Rocky. That's awesome. I'm just gonna lift some shit. Where's the chicken?
I always found it really funny. I know that you're going to make a YouTube channel for your travels to Mexico with your wife, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have a name for it? And you guys discussed it this week on Bailey and Southside. Has anything transpired from that?
Not totally. I haven't really sat down and compiled all the suggestions, but yeah, I couple of them I'm I like, but I'm still open for a suggestion. So
how about 2 tan asses?
2 tan asses. I like it.
2 tan butts.
Cheap.
I'm gonna toss you 2. One I came up with. One my wife came up with. Sorry, man. I've like my head is out of this thing with this head cold or whatever the hell I have. The one I came up with was Montezuma's friend.
Okay.
Instead of revenge. Instead of revenge. Got it.
I don't know. I mean, dude,
it's a play on diarrhea, but it's not.
Yeah, you're gonna be eating those pills for a year.
Yeah.
And the one she came up with, Digi Duo.
Digi Duo.
Like
what's
the
that
2 of you.
Like
your Digi Dude Nate, and then the duo would be you and your wife.
You and your wife.
I thought you were playing off like a didgeridoo, and I was like, I don't think that's Mexican, but
No.
But yeah, no, I like because I want something that has like both of us. A lot of them were suggesting beer things or whatever, but yeah, I want something that has both my wife and I. So I do like the duo stuff. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I was curious about this. When you were a kid and you got into trouble, how did your parents punish you?
I think it was just kind of a grounding thing. I mean, obviously when I was younger, I got like spanked, but it wasn't like go get a switch or anything like that. But yeah, it was mainly grounding and then chores. I had to like weed the backyard and, do things like that. But yeah.
In other words, you didn't get beat down.
No, not typically. I got soap in the mouth though, the bar of soap.
Yeah. Do you know we didn't have a bar of soap? Do you know my mother squirted the soap in my mouth with one of those squirt things?
I got that one time too. We were out, so I had to do the dial squirt.
She dialed me. Yeah. What?
So this is where I'm going. I read this stat earlier today before I even knew you were going to come on with us. Nearly 95% of adults who claim to very much enjoy the taste of IPAs had their mouths washed out with soap at least once a week during their childhood. The remaining 5% were kids who just like probably eating soap. But yeah, so apparently there's some correlation between liking IPAs and being a kid who got punished by eating soap.
Really? That's funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I wonder if it like changed your sense of taste when you were a kid or something.
I have no idea. I do want to ask you this. Every Friday, I do get to see the Beer Chugz in Harmony. How did you come up with this whole idea? And are you going to continue it when you head down to Mexico?
Well, I started it almost 3 years ago, and it was kind of, when I came up here, I mean, Steve didn't see me before I was fat when I came up here. I was just partying in Orlando, eating whatever I wanted, going out and everything. And so, when I got up here after a while, I was like, all right, I need to like kind of buckle down and, get to exercise and eating better and everything like that. So my wife and I kind of made a rule that we weren't going to drink Monday through Friday or, weekdays basically. And unless, it's somebody's birthday or some big occasion, but typically we're not going to drink during the week. So Friday after work, that was my first beer of the week. So, I kind of live for the weekend. So that was my first beer. And it's funny, if you go back and watch the first one, it's, obviously I kind of have a format of how I do it now, but at the first one, I'm just like, yeah, so I'm drinking this beer and, it's terrible. So, but yeah, it basically started just because that was, my first beer of the week, and planning on continue. I'm going to see how it goes in Mexico. Cause there's not a ton of variety. I mean, there might be more than I know and I'm just not aware, but it's mainly lagers and stuff. So, I don't want to be chugging Coronas every week. So, so I'm gonna have to see if I can branch out, but I have found a couple of craft breweries there that are opening up. So hopefully they have some good varieties.
So cervezas in Harmony.
Yeah. And I just learned there's another Spanish where it's like chila. It's Chela is another word for beer in Spanish. So
yeah. I think so is uno mas.
Yeah. One more place.
Last one that I had for you. This is the dumb question that I think of when I'm randomly sitting in a cubicle during my week. If you had to eat a dinosaur, which dinosaur do you think would taste the best?
I would say maybe a brontosaurus, because it just looks like thick, like its back looks all like meaty and hearty, and has that long neck, and yeah, I bet it's pretty delicious. But yeah, so I'd probably say brontosaurus.
Steve, you got a dinosaur?
Oh no, I'll eat a T-Rex. I want to get the big boy T-bone.
And
I'll eat it in less than 99 minutes. I'll do it.
Or it's free.
Yeah. Exactly. I said alligator. And people were like, what? Alligator? I'm like, yeah, they're dinosaurs. I've eaten them. They taste delicious. Dip them in, like chili sauce.
Oh, that's true. So technically we've all had dinosaurs.
Dinosaur.
Technically. Yeah. I would call that dinosaur. I've eaten it too myself.
Gator bites are delicious.
Before we let you go, again, on the Yeah Come On show, I just want to thank our sponsors quickly again, circle285.com, oxygenfinancial.com for insurance and financial needs. And then, of course, Dr. David Markwell, go to Ridgeline Counseling. And he has 2 locations, one in Marietta and one in Blue Ridge, of all places. But I guess my closing question, not even a question, I guess an opportunity. I think a lot of people are going to want to run you down. I think a lot of people are going to want to follow you. What can you tell us? In other words, pimp yourself. What are you going to keep in place? What are you going to be on? What social medias? How are we going to be able to keep up with you and find you?
Well, I'll still have, Instagram's main, like my main posting source right now. So yeah, at Digi Dude Nate on Instagram. I have my fan page on Facebook, same thing. I'm not really into Twitter. I don't really dig Twitter. I just kind of do it for work. So I probably drop off of that, but I do have, just my personal YouTube channel. I don't even know if it's just Nate Hansen or something. But I'll eventually either morph that into our travel channel, or I'll start a new one. So yeah, if you want to find me on YouTube also, I'll if I do start a new one, I'll post a video saying where to follow me at.
Awesome. Cause I know a lot of people want to keep up with you. A lot of people very sad, but it's right now I think you're scheduled for a year. We'll see when you come back. If you come back, how long you stay, or maybe you move somewhere else. I think you're going to meet somebody. Next thing I know, you're going to tell me, I'm moving to Belgium.
Yeah.
I'm moving to Switzerland.
We're going to Bali.
That's where we're going. Yeah. But Digi Dude Nate, that's Digi, D-I-G-I, Nate, N-A-T-E. And of course, Nate Hansen being your name. I just want people to keep up with you. And I want to thank you so much for coming on the Yeah Come On show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This has been fun.
Yeah. And Brett, in closing, anything less you want to tell Nate how much you care about him and how much you look up to him and wish you were as good a producer?
Nate, I wish I was as good a producer. No, dude, you just have so many tools. The website stuff, the video stuff, it's much more progressive in something I wish I was better at. But yeah, you've nailed it. Like,
yeah, that's
props.
what
I hit you up at the beginning of quarantine. Was like, hey, I know. Can I ask you some video questions?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I love to help, and yeah, I mean, it definitely helps out to have, you know, different types of media skills, you know, especially in this business, in producing and stuff. So yeah, I have fun with it. I love, and that's kind of why I do my Beer Chugz and Harmony thing. Like, I love, you know, doing like some creative things on my own where I can, whatever, edit the video or do it in a crazy spot or something like that. So it's just kind of a fun side project for me. So, you know, hopefully in Mexico, I'll have some more, you know, free time where I can, you know, do some things like that or teach myself to do some new stuff.
And I want to tell anybody watching this, whether you're in the business, not in the business, looking to start a business, want to hire great, Nate writes code. So there's nothing really he can't do, but I'm got to tell you that the work ethic is unbelievable. So as a favor to you or to anybody, let anybody know that's looking for somebody, give Nate a shot at it. If he can't, he'll tell you straight up he can't. But go to Nhans. That's NHANS 83 @gmail.com. That is his email. Nhans for Nate Hansen 83 @gmail.com, and put this dude to work. We want to make sure you make a ton of money while you're living there, and there's nothing you can't do living in Mexico with your computer. And I just want people to know how absolutely fantastic you are at what you do. And I wouldn't just say that. So
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. And you can also message me on Instagram, and, you know, I don't have like a ton of free time at this point. So I'll let you know if, you know, the project's too big, I might not be able to, but I always try to, you know, help people out and do some side work if I can.
I think September 19th, you're going to have some free time.
Yeah.
Well, this has been the Yeah Come On show. Special guest, Digi Dude Nate Hansen, producer extraordinaire for Bailey and Southside Rock 100.5 in Atlanta. And to my co-host, Brett Barney, take care, and thank you for listening and watching. Yeah, come on.